All right, let's bring the focus now to what's happening in Iran, where the regime is sending out a message that all is well, that we will continue and there's no question of a regime collapse. And in the latest development, perhaps the biggest in the last 10 days of the conflict, is that there is a new supreme leader. After Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was assassinated, his son has now taken over the charge. It was largely expected. A number of reports did suggest this would happen, but now it's finalized, formalized. The announcement has been made that Mojtaba Khamenei is the new supreme leader of Iran. It's for the first time ever that you're seeing essentially the son of a top leader, of a supreme commander taking over. Usually you don't see it in Iran, which is why we've termed it as sunrise in Iran finally. Mojtaba Khamenei was someone who was in the shadows, but deemed to be very clearly the successor of Khamenei. So in keeping with that, the announcement was made amid, of course, a whole lot of support, people in large numbers. And this is very contrary to what you hear about in Iran, which is that there isn't much support for the regime. The pictures, however, are complete contrast to that, because what we're seeing is images right now of huge number of people coming together when that announcement was made. So Mojtaba Khamenei is the new supreme leader of Iran, taking over from Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. I'll just put the focus right now on what exactly the family tree of this family looks like. Who is in fact in this family? Why has Mojtaba been chosen? He's not the only son. And I'll put the focus right now on those names as well. Let's put that out right now, and that's the names there on your screens. You have Mojtaba Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader who has a final say right now in most state matters. Then you've got several others who are also at this point very powerful. Pezeshkian, the president, the head of government of Iran, but ultimately someone who also reports to Mojtaba Khamenei. So he's all powerful in that sense. He is someone who at this point clearly has full control of Iran, and all eyes will be on him to see what really he does next. As we, in fact, break down for you exactly what the path to power is in Iran, and you can see that on your screens, let's also tell you about the other big aspect of what's happened right now. The fact that Mojtaba Khamenei is someone who's also had a history of serving in the military. Now, what is his political stand? We don't really know. But Mojtaba's early youth coincided with one of the most turbulent periods that Iran has seen. At just 17 years old, he actually served as a soldier in a war, not really in one of your frontline posts, so his life wasn't in danger. But it's important to highlight that something like this had also happened. That's footage on your screens of Mojtaba there, serving, in fact, in a battalion in Tehran. That experience, and this is what the Khamenei family has maintained, that particular experience in the military is what shaped his outlook of what's happening in Iran, and the fact that he was even more powered towards the Islamic Revolution. But that's why there's a lot of talk right now that with this particular move of Mojtaba Khamenei, someone who served, you will see, in fact, a lot more power being given to the Revolutionary Guards. But here's why Mojtaba Khamenei is bad news for America. He is someone who's a hardliner with close ties to the Iran army, which is what I was referring to as well, because he served in the army. There's a lot of speculation that now with him taking over, there will be someone who gives a free hand to the Iranian army. And so that's bad news for America, who, remember, wanted to have a big say on exactly who would be the ultimate authority, who would be the supreme leader in Iran. Someone like Mojtaba is perhaps the worst possible news for America. He's also backed by Hezbollah, by Houthis, by the Basij. We're going to put out the right graphics there. We apologize for that. We're going to change that up because we'll get to the school killings in just a bit. Let's focus first on Mojtaba Khamenei and what really has happened. How has he shaped his entire career to become the supreme leader of Iran right now? And as he, in fact, wants to continue, and we've got all those details for you right now, he's backed by the Hezbollah, by the Houthis, by the Basij, wants to pursue Iran's nuclear ambition as well. So there's no backing off from that, which means it's extremely bad news for America. Ultimately, their goal was to thwart the nuclear operations of Iran. He also seeks revenge for his father's death, not just his father's death, but also for the fact that in those US-Israeli strikes, mind you, his wife was eliminated, his daughter was killed, his mother was killed. So he's lost his father, mother, wife and daughter as a result of America and Israel's strikes. That's why he has a hardline anti-US stance. He's also rejected US diplomacy. So under Mojtaba, it looks highly unlikely that there will be any sort of dialogue with America. Let's get you all the details about Mojtaba Khamenei. Why has he been chosen? At 56, he's now the new supreme leader of Iran.
It is a new dawn for Iran amid its darkest chapter even in history. After Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was killed in strikes by Israel and United States, the second son of Ali Khamenei, Mojtaba Khamenei, has succeeded him. After Mojtaba was named the supreme leader of Iran, Iran's military and political leaders have pledged allegiance to him. A strong emotional sentiment is echoing for Mojtaba after he lost his father, mother, wife and daughter in the strikes carried out by Israel and United States when Ali Khamenei was targeted by thousands of pounds of explosives while negotiating peace deal with US alongside top officials. Mojtaba is a hardline cleric with deep ties to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. During the Iran-Iraq war in late 80s, he volunteered on the front lines and served as a member of the Mujahid battalion. The experience shaped his outlook and deepened his commitment to the ideals of Islamic revolution. As Mojtaba steps into his father's shoes, he faces the wrath of arch-rivals Israel and the United States. Donald Trump called the choice unacceptable and hinted that it won't last.
We're in a very strong position now, and their leadership is just rapidly going. Everybody that seems to want to be a leader, they end up dead.
Israel, without mincing words, stated that it will not allow any other supreme leader in Iran and any successor appointed by the Islamic nation or involved in appointment would be a clear target for elimination. Israel followed through its threat by carrying out a strike in central Tehran and killed Abul Qasim Babayan, identified as the coming head of the military office of Iran's supreme leader. The move has created global tension, with China opposing any military action against Mojtaba, calling it an internal matter of Iran. With the supreme leader holding ultimate authority over Iran's military, judiciary and foreign policy, Mojtaba Khamenei's leadership will significantly shape the Islamic nation's future and its all-out war with the US. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's break down for you the big headlines of what really this succession means for Iran. Mojtaba Khamenei will now be the supreme leader for life. Why do we say that? Because in Iran's rules, you see very clearly that whoever's named as the supreme leader till he is assassinated, he will remain the supreme leader. The second is also that there is first hereditary transfer of Iran's supreme leadership. I'm going to take this across to Pranay Upadhyay of India Today Global for more details. Pranay, explain to us why and how we see Iran fully set up, that even if there is an assassination, there's a clear succession plan, there's a leadership ring that immediately takes over.
Akshita, many people might be having this question in their minds that, despite sustaining so many airstrikes, despite having decapitation of their top leadership, why Iran is still sustaining? Iran girta kyun nahi hai? So to answer to this question lies in the power structure of Iran. And let me take you to this power structure, because this is the complex power structure Iran has developed in last 47 years of this Islamic regime. So at the top of this thing, supreme leader is actually supreme in every power structure, this power pyramid, where the people, the common voters, are at the very bottom of it. And this is the steep power hierarchy of Iran, where the elected president Masood Pezeshkian, he is the elected president. But even the election and the selection of the presidential candidate is governed by this Guardian Council, and which is the handpicked council of 12-member this Guardian Council, and Supreme Leader controls almost everything. This assembly of experts which has selected the Supreme Leader, but in turn these 88-member the expert committee is also chosen by the people. But in fact, the candidacy of for these 88-member expert committee is also decided by the Supreme Leader. And after this, you also see the power structure of the military as well. So on three tangents, if you see the power structure, which is the political power structure, governed and controlled by the Supreme Leader. Besides that, you have the security or the military power structure there as well. The Supreme Leader sits at the top of this pyramid, because IRGC, which is different from the professional army or professional military of Iran, is also controlled by the same Supreme Leader. Here you see the Supreme National Security Council, which is currently, whose Secretary General is Ali Larijani, and President is also part of it, but he has a limited authority. Besides that, the Ministry of Defense is there. But here you see Artish. This is the professional military of Iran, like Air Force, Navy, Army. But this is superseded by the power structure of IRGC, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, and whose strength is around 150 lakh. The soldiers are there, and they are the power structure. So they hold the real power, and they are only accountable to the Supreme Leader. So this is yet another. The power, the security structure of Iran is largely deep entrenched. And also, this is governed by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, and they also have a unique force, which is a voluntary force called Basij, which is a religious as well as the paramilitary force of Iranian Revolutionary Guard, and therefore they are also very deep entrenched, and they have their people even at the rural level, at the village level, and that's why this is an ideological structure, and such ideological structures cannot be decapitated by merely striking or decapitating the top leadership, because the second tier will come, the third tier will come. And the next slide will show you that what exactly, from where are they drawing their power, because political power and the military power ultimately has to have economic power. So see, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard's business empire is also deep entrenched, and as per analysts, around 60% of Iranian economy is currently Iranian Revolutionary Guard is having hold of it. So they have construction firm, they have this construction firm called Khatm al-Anbiya. This has around 20,000 workers, and they take major infrastructure contracts. Besides that, they are in the other industries as well, be it the Iran's Mehr Economic Institution. So this has the financial institutions, like the biggest economic institution, the banking hub, the non-banking financial corporation. They are also being held by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. So they control this power structure of economy as well. Besides that, they also have the Iranian telecommunication company. That's why Iran can immediately shut down all the communications whenever they want and whichever way they want. And that's why they have 50% stake and bought with the government privatization scheme, and who bought Iranian Revolutionary Guards. And besides that, they also have this group, which is the largest lead and zinc mining. So they control economic resources, they control mining, they control the financial system, and also see this as well. Even the automobile sector, 45% stake in the manufacturing of the Mazda brand cars in Iran are also governed, held by the IRGC. And besides that, the Iran electronic industry, they control the electronic industry as well. So if you see the power structure, they control economy, they control military, security, and they also hold the political structure, the political power of Iran. And that's why mere decapitation, mere airstrike are not yielding the desired result for United States and Israel. And I think this is a main reason for the frustration, growing frustration among Israel and United States, that why, despite killing Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, they are not being able to change the regime in Iran. Back to you, Akshita.
Thanks very much, Pranay, for breaking that down for us. There's a reason that the person who is at the helm is referred to as the supreme leader in Iran, and that's what Pranay has broken down for you as well. But remember that Mojtaba Khamenei is now supreme leader for life, which is why already Israel has said that he is target number one for them. Till he's assassinated, he is at the helm of affairs. He cannot be replaced. And also, he is the first hereditary transfer of Iran's supreme leadership. What that means is that it's considered un-Islamic for the son of a supreme leader to take over. In this case, it's the first time that it's ever happened. That's because past spiritual leaders regarded dynastic power as un-Islamic. All those rules of how, in fact, power transition happens has completely changed. The other big question mark is over his political views. Because he's been in the shadows for so long, he's not been someone who's been in the spotlight and has never really come out and spoken about his political views. But clearly will be a hardliner, someone who's very close to the Iran Revolutionary Guards as well. Succession signals that regime can still very much function. The messaging here is very important. The Iran government is saying, look, all of these strikes hasn't affected us. We're still very much in power. We're still very much as powerful as we were.